Code is a 1-hour introduction to computer science for kids of all ages. Participating in the event allows kids to explore the world of programming, which is a valuable skill for anyone to have in our world today. On behalf of Women in Tech Maldives, thank you so much for volunteering to become a mentor. We've picked a few games that are easy to understand for the age group that you will be mentoring. You do not need to have a background in computer science. You will only need to guide your students through simple tasks where the games will provide instructions on what they're expected to do. On the day of the event, you will demo the first 3 stages of your game and then let the students take it from there. Please note that you must complete the game yourself so that if any of your students struggle with a level, you would be able to guide them. If you are unsure of how to complete a level, find an issue with the game, or have any other queries, please reach out to us. So let's begin with our tutorial. You can start by clicking Get Started, and they will take you through a hint of exactly where everything is. So you will find the instructions for the project here, and this is your workspace where you will code. This is where you will use quick select keys in order to input the code. And here is how your code compares to the example solution. Please demo level 1 to 3 of the 18 levels that you have in this activity. You'll be able to see some important information at the left top here. For example, it tells you that in this particular level you'll learn how to use a function and exactly what a function is as well. A function tells a computer to do a certain thing like change the color of an image. The instructions will let you know exactly what needs to be done. So in this case, it's change color balance filter to pixelate filter, and the highlights here will let you know exactly how to proceed as well. So we need to click on color balance filter and then replace it with pixelate filter function, and then we run the code, and as you can see, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what we currently have, and if our solution is exactly as this, then we've completed that level. So that was level 1, and then we can move on to level 2. They also let you select another picture if you'd like, which you can also do from the change image button at the top here. And for this puzzle, we'll be using a variable. So it lets you know that a variable stores a piece of information that can be used again later. So this is the variable here, and basically it's saying false at the moment, which means that the apply filter variable is set to false, and the instruction says to change this from false to true. So you can just click on that, change it to true, and then run the code and see that your solution has been applied. And one more thing that will happen as you go along is you will get these questions about the previous steps as well. So for example, it's asking what's a variable? So is it a piece of information that can be used later in your code? Does it help you loop through items, or does it tell your computer to stop? So if you had read the previous information piece in the top left, you would see that a variable stores information that can be used later in your code. So as it goes along, it will get a little bit more and more complex, but the instructions will always help you figure out exactly what needs to be done. So now you're learning how to use if statements that basically let you know that an if statement consists of a test and a section of code. If the test is true, then the code runs. So it's basically saying something along the lines of if apply filter is set to true, then we want a magenta filter, and the instruction says to change it from magenta to lime. So we will click on magenta, select lime, and run our code. Once you've finished the very last one, which is 2 at a time, you will see the screen that lets you know that you've completed all of the lessons and finished your hour of code activity. And it lets you know that you've learned how to use functions, variables, and conditionals. You can continue coding to start creating your own filters from all of the information that you've learned so far. And you should also ask your students to click on the Hour of Code certificate so that they can get their certificate of completion. You can personalize this by putting in your name, clicking submit, getting the certificate that you can print out. You can ask your students to save this so that they have access to it later. And at that point, they can either, if they have more time, go on to the next activity, or if this is the end of their hour of code session, you may ask them how they enjoyed it, what they liked best, and to share their creations with the rest of the class so that you can all take a look at the unique creations by every student. Thanks again for taking time out to help students discover the magic of programming. This helps to broaden participation in the field of computer science. We hope you enjoyed the event as much as your students and that we see you again next year.